In 1917, Providence College was founded as a Dominican Catholic school that primarily served Irish and Italian immigrants from the Providence area. As the school began to grow, students from neighboring towns and eventually neighboring states, such as Connecticut and Massachusetts, were incorporated into the student body. When these students began to commingle, they formed groups that allowed them to celebrate and share their upbringings. These different clubs and extracurricular activities were centered around students' geographical backgrounds. For example, the Cranston Club, the Boston Club, and the Hartford Club. Over the years, globalization caused these geographical locations to become more diverse. This led to a diversification of the student body in a new way. Instead of geographical ties, the focus of student organizations shifted to represent the different cultures now present on campus. This is when we begin to see the clubs such as the Italian Club, the Gaelic Club, and the African American Club emerge. To better represent these cultural groups, an umbrella organization called the BMSA was formed. This group, originally called the Board of Minority Student Affairs and now known as the Board of Multicultural Student Affairs, seeks to celebrate the diversity here on campus and share the culture of PC students. In our project, we explore how successful these groups are at representing their culture amongst the student body in an effort to better understand how globalization continues to play a role in shaping the Friar identity. In order to do this, we conducted student interviews to explore the general student body's understanding of BMSA and these cultural groups.
Yes, the Board of Multicultural Student Affairs.
The Multicultural Student Affairs Board?
Yeah, it's the Board of Multicultural Studies Association.
I don't really know what they do, but I do see a lot of their events that they put on. I actually don't know any of them.
Wow, I really know nothing.
It's an Armenian society. There's I'm pretty sure Gaelic, Italian.
I don't know enough about it. I feel like maybe it's not made as prevalent on campus as it should be. Maybe I'm just ill-informed about it.
Or if there are clubs, that might be great on paper. Oh, we have the Board of Multicultural Student Affairs and we have 8 different ethnicities represented. But when you look at who's involved in those clubs, it's people from those ethnicities and backgrounds, and it's not as, the clubs themselves aren't diverse.
From these interviews, it is apparent that there is a lack of campus-wide knowledge about BMSA and the cultural clubs within it. Although it is known that these clubs are present on campus, we do not see a greater cultural understanding on a large scale. There is a clear disconnect between the missions of the individual clubs and the student appreciation for these cultures. To further explore this disconnect, we interviewed executive members of the cultural clubs. Through these interviews, we can see that there is student support for these organizations.
Events are usually pretty well attended, so I do feel pretty supported by the students.
I feel like we've had a few events this semester already that we've had great turnouts at.
However, this support may not be inspired by the desire to gain a more developed cultural awareness and is often limited.
So our membership varies based on the event, and especially when we do have our bi-weekly meetings, there will be, if we send in the email, oh, we're going to be talking about, for example, fashion show coming up, then we'll get a bunch of numbers. But if we're we're going to talk about mental health awareness, it seems like those numbers start to decrease.
Here, Ackland is highlighting the difficulty in encouraging deeper understanding of culture on campus. We see this theme in several different interviews. Another common theme across our interviews was the importance of membership and the role diversity needs to play within the clubs. While having representation of diverse cultures is important, in order to deepen the student body's understanding of these cultures, there needs to be more diversity amongst the members themselves.
Behind the scenes type of thing, whether it's backlash from administration or kind of setbacks from them, or whether it's students, your own peers, not showing up to your meetings, but showing up to your events, so just figuring out how to get the same amount of people that come to our events to come to our weekly meetings. That's kind of the problem we're dealing with.
We have white members who are comfortable being in that room and talking about issues and things like that. So that's always appreciated.
In general, clubs feel they can successfully represent their cultures on campus. However, minority cultural clubs feel that they have an added difficulty in connecting with the student body due to a lack of representation on this campus.
So for me being Dominican, it's easier for me to express my culture here, but if I was Brazilian or if I was from Bolivia, it's kind of harder because I may be the only person from these countries.
In the summer, we try to get involved with orientation programs and running events on campus and helping them so that students who maybe weren't Black in that room still saw some type of representation.
From our project, we have learned that globalization at Providence College has both positive and negative effects. Globalization has brought all of these cultures together here on campus and has provided an outlet for people to express, celebrate, and share their traditions. However, it has not equally allocated representation, an issue we see here at PC. In order to foster a more genuine understanding of different cultures here on campus, we need to first address the issues of representation. Only then will we be able to combat the disconnect between the assumed student understanding of globalization and its reality.